about entrepreneurship is that we can have our own freedom to work. We can contribute something to the society. Even though in job we will be contributing to the society by a company, but doing it on our own and having no rules, it's something special. So that's what excites me about entrepreneurship. And I would like to, okay, that's a bit of introduction. We will be interacting more in the coming time. So I would be nominating Anuj Kumar Singh to take over the. Yeah, thank you.
Hey Anuj, can you take out some time to introduce yourself? I mean, I know you personally, but like also other people in the group. Hello, hi Anuj. Um, I think Anuj can't turn on his mic for some reason. Anuj, can you type in? Like, are you able to hear me? Hmm.
Yeah, I think he's unmuted.
Yeah. Sahit.
Yes. My name is Shanmuga Sahit. I'm currently an first year undergraduate student in the Department of Chemistry, enrolled in its 4-year Bachelor's of Science course, and I'm always interested in startups and entrepreneurship. I don't know the exact reason, but it always excites me. Maybe it's always good to have our own startup, or like it's always challenging thing. And that's it with my introduction. And I want to pass it to, I think, S. Gowda.
Hi, Krutarth.
Hi, bro. Hello, everyone. Myself, Krutarth. Currently, I'm studying in MS Engineering College. I'm an undergrad student and I am in second semester. So, basically, I do a lot about app development, and recently, I'm into web development. Uh, for the entrepreneurship, it's excite me. I don't know the reason, but it give me the freedom to decide what the other factors for me for developing new technologies and all that. So I will pass this to Redmi 9 Note 9 Pro.
Redmi Note 9 Pro. Who is Redmi Note 9 Pro? Even I'm interested to
Am I
know.
audible now?
Yeah, Anuj, you are. You are. You can go first, Anuj.
Yeah, sure. So, as you know, my name is Anuj and I'm a final year undergraduate student of the Department of Industrial and Systems Engineering at IIT Kharagpur. And my area of interest includes UI UX design and product design. And I have no previous experience in entrepreneurship. I am here to get some exposure for entrepreneurship.
Great, great, great. Today we have a like 7 to 7:30 call by a Harvard graduate, Aditya Narayanan. He's my co-founder. So he is himself a designer, and that session would be useful for you, I believe. Redmi Note 9 Pro. Who is this person? Could you go and introduce yourself, please? Hello, Redmi Note 9 Pro. I think Redmi Note 9 Pro is a bot. Doesn't surprise me. So yeah, of course, I guess like so today is a very intimate session. We are like 5 people today, like 6 people in the on the call today, and it's good because we can keep it interactive this way. Feel free to shoot your answer like questions, and I would be happy to stop the presentation in between and answer. The call would be recorded anyway, so like it would be helpful for you guys to even look the recordings later on. So today's session is all about road to entrepreneurship. So yesterday we got to know about how we can pursue entrepreneurship and pursue web development and get a software job. If someone wants to get a software job, they can also see if they want to work in a FANG company. Yesterday, there were a lot of questions about working in a FANG company. Apart from that, working in a FANG company, even if you want to get a job in startup, it's really helpful. So today's session is all about, after assuming that, you have some knowledge of web development, or like basic HTML also, or you are just an internet native. When I say internet native, it simply means that, you are aware of the various kinds of tools that exist out there. Like Anuj, I'm pretty sure you must be aware of Figma. And our friend here, yeah, and our friend here, even Sahit is aware of basic HTML and JavaScript. So the thing is that how can you, this session is all about like, how can you translate your web development or the knowledge of no code tools like Figma also into something like entrepreneurship. And this is part of the cold shower series. So I never mentioned in the first session yesterday that what cold shower series is all about. Cold shower series is basically taking decisions that are hard. So imagine that, it's winter's time and, it's this cold shower. And it is said that cold shower is much more beneficial for your body than a hot shower. And, just need to jump in that cold shower only once. And once you jump into that cold shower, it really feels good. So it's just the first step that you need to take to dive to entrepreneurship or starting your own venture. Now, this session is all about why web development gives you, that kind of confidence, like why it can be something that makes it easier to jump in that cold shower. So I'm going to stop here for a moment and I would let you guys guess who this person is. He majored in psychology, is a billionaire right now, and majority owner in one of the largest tech companies in the world. He coded in PHP, which was the most popular web development language during his time. And by no means he was like the best coder that existed out there. Can you guys take a shot and identify like who this person could be? Any guesses? Take a guess, like.
No idea.
No one. I mean, you would be surprised by the answer though. He's Mark Zuckerberg. So very interestingly, Mark Zuckerberg actually majored in psychology. And Apple CEO. Okay, no, he's not. He was not Apple CEO. So yeah, I mean, you answered it previously. So Mark Zuckerberg majored in psychology, very surprisingly, but he used to attend computer science classes when he was at Harvard. And eventually he dropped off because, when you are studying something that doesn't interest you, either you drop off or you just pass your subjects. So that's what he did, and eventually went on to founding one of the world's most influential company right now, Facebook, or Meta as they call it now. So yeah. So again, if you're a web developer, no matter what your background is, like Sahid yesterday mentioned that he feels that he's from chemistry department and he can't code or something like that. I mean, you have an example right here. He studied psychology and still went on to become the founder of the world's biggest company, one of the biggest companies. Okay, this one is pretty hard. So this guy is a university dropout again. He dropped out of a university when he was 19 or 20.
Yeah,
One of the
Chinese?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
is he Chinese?
No,
I
he's
think
not Chinese. He's
I
not
have read
Jack Ma.
about him. Yeah, I have read about him like a few month ago because of the crypto, he became the youngest billionaire of 2022.
Mm, No, but he's not Chinese. I get it. That is Wang. That is a different guy. I think there's a hint in the photograph.
Is he Vitalik?
Yeah, he's Vitalik Buterin. Who gave the answer? Was it Sahid? So yeah, he's Vitalik Buterin, and again, like he started off coding when he was 12 or 13 years old. His father was actually was a computer scientist, and I think that helped him to really get a good grasp of coding at a young age. But eventually, like he created this white paper, published this white paper on Ethereum for when he was 20 years old. He had a good, decent knowledge of cryptography, and currently, like he's I guess 28 years old, and I think one of the richest person when it comes to crypto industry. And again, like crypto is currently down by like 200% from its peak. So again, when it regains back, I mean, there's no limit to how rich he can get. So again, there are many such founders who began with computer science in general. And when I say computer science, not as a subject, but more like something to do with web development or software development in general. And there's a very thin line between web development and software development. I mean, they are essentially the same. Not much difference there. So Kevin Systrom, the founder of Instagram, Travis Kalanick, Uber. By the way, if someone has Woot subscription, there's an amazing documentary on Travis Kalanick. You can watch it on Woot. Then there's Whitney, who founded Bumble, Toby, Shopify, Matt, Grubhub, Binance founder also, Spotify, Netflix, Google Map, Calm. All these people are like, amazing inspirations. All of them were in their 20s when they founded their first company. Didn't have much experience in working in various companies. Also, like had some knowledge about web development. Of course, when they build out the full product, they are not the people who are coding and all. But to have a knowledge about web development helps a great way when it comes to building out a tech business, and that's what helped them. So again, they all have two things in common: created internet-based business or tools, and are self-made billionaires. In this era, in this information age, we have only got two kinds of billionaires. Either they are Mukesh Ambani, Adani, or LMVH founder, LMVH CEO, that is like Louis Vuitton and Moet Hennessy. I mean, these are the people who are billionaires these days. These days, one kind of people who had family business, and it has been passed on through generations, and they have sort of expanded it. But then there is like another internet economy billionaires, and these people have multiplied their wealth within a span of 5 to 6 years and become billionaires. So actually creating an internet-based business or a tool helps you do that. And to be honest, you don't really need to be the best coder out there. You just need to have some knowledge about like thinking in the terms like you can build a web-based company. That's it. So why entrepreneurship can be a natural path for developers? Now, I think the answer precedes the question. I have already given you the answer in the previous slides, because when it comes to developers can easily imagine the way they can, create a business around a technology. Let's go back to 2011, when Travis Kalanick, the founder of Uber, started out with this idea of Uber share, like cab share, basically. The idea was essentially, people can, book a cab just out of their phones. They just have to pay like 10 or 20 rupees extra, but it's very convenient to get a cab or a taxi now. And the idea just blew. I mean, no one had imagined back in 2011 that you can also do that with an app. And this is 2011, of course. Now it doesn't seem like too far-fetched. But in 2011, just because he had some idea about how apps work, so you have a fair idea like what is possible, what is not possible. Similarly, the other way around, if you are an entrepreneur, why is important for you to learn web development? And when I say learn web development, I'm not saying just dissolve yourself into learning web development, but just get to know the basics, try to deploy your own portfolio app or something, and your mind actually keeps on opening uh, as you keep on building. So yeah, so the answer to both is same. In the current world, everything is present on internet, and having basic knowledge of the web or tech in general eliminates a lot of roadblocks. I mean, today I can think of any idea, but if I don't know whether it is technically possible or not, it doesn't make sense. I mean, and until I'm not into tech, it's very hard to find tech co-founders. So yeah, there goes your answer. I mean, any question to anyone till now, I'm also open for debates, like maybe web development is not important. I mean, if anyone wants to say anything here, be happy to take on questions. Of course, this is not a classroom environment. I'm trying hard to not make it one, but okay. So you can also type in your questions meanwhile. I mean, be happy to take in there as well. So moving ahead, Uber, Oyo, Airbnb, Zomato, Trivago, and there are tons of other aggregator websites. What is common about them? What is common about them? Please open to the floor. Anything that comes to your mind, what is common about them? You can tap in the chat box. What is the first thing that comes to your mind that is common about them?
Converting offline business to an online business.
Converting offline to online businesses. Any other answers? I mean, yeah, that is there. New service in online. Yeah, it's all of them are new service in online. Transportation, food. Airbnb doesn't do that. Neither does Oyo or Trivago. Uber does it. Uber Eats. So, well, the interesting idea is like the interesting thing about them is whether you consider Uber or Airbnb or
Yeah.
Oyo or Zomato or
None of
Trivago.
them would be owning something.
None
They are
of them. Yeah. Go on.
actually, they have created a online thing where the person who are owning the property can be able use their platform to reach the customers.
Exactly. So they
Like
are,
Oyo didn't own any rooms, but they have a
yeah,
website for the hotels and the uh, residential flats. So they
exactly.
didn't own any rooms, but they have taken the opportunity of having renting the rooms. So I think that's one
Yes,
thing.
exactly. I
Like
mean,
Zomato also, they don't have own any restaurants, but they will be listing the restaurants. So
yeah,
it's act as a bridge between the customers and the uh, producers. Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. I mean, imagine you can build out businesses like Uber doesn't own a single cab. Trivago doesn't own a single hotel. Oyo also doesn't own a single room. Airbnb doesn't own a single homestay. Neither Zomato owns a single restaurant. But they are all bigger than any other physical businesses in their field. Like Oyo is bigger than any of the Indian hotel chains. Trivago is bigger than any of the biggest hotel chains, whether you consider Marriott or anyone else. Again, for Uber, like it's bigger than any of the taxi rental service or Airbnb also. And Zomato is bigger than any restaurant chain. This is the most interesting part about them, about creating online businesses. And they all started out very small, very small. Like Oyo started out 10 years ago with Ritesh Agarwal just going out in Gurgaon offices, Gurgaon hotels, and getting these rooms for so that he can put them on rent. And then again, Uber started out with 3-4 cabs in a small city. Airbnb also began in a small city. So yeah, that's the interesting part about them. So now we have talked about businesses here, and again, we come back to, sort of this problem where, how to approach it. Like you have an amazing idea. Maybe you want to sell chocolates online. You want to just build a online store for selling chocolates. But how do you know that what technology to use? Maybe you are not the one who's building out the technology, but you still need to know something about the code stack here when you're starting out with your co-founder. Whether if even if he's a tech co-founder, it makes sense that even the CEO has some knowledge about, the code stack, the tech stack, and all. So that was the assignment yesterday. And I mean, if you haven't been through the assignment, that's fine. So there's this popular site called stackshare.io. And you can pick out any popular stack from there. So it serves for two purposes. Helps you build your own startup. And if you don't build your own startup, somehow it fails, it still secures your job options. Right now, I'm building a particular startup, but I have some knowledge about, React and Java and all. So even if the startup fails somehow, or like even if it doesn't like take off or anything, I wish it doesn't happen, but still, if it happens, there's a job security back in there because I know this particular skill. So yeah, if you haven't really visited stackshare.io, I would like recommend each and every one of you to just browse through the site and see, like, it's quite amazing. Now, oh shit. So it's not node code tools, it's no code tools. So there's this increasing fad about no code tools. We also briefly touched upon this topic yesterday with the call with Rohan Khameshra. And no code tools are these amazing tools that are making, uh, deploying your projects or working on your projects really easy, really simple. You don't really need to go through learning C++ or Java or Python or anything of that. You just need to have a basic knowledge of what you really want to achieve. And there are these amazing GUIs, almost like any platform like Facebook or something like that. And you can just drag and drop things and create your own stuff. So this is something that I found online. So the thing I like about this particular diagram is that, it has everything for the business to begin and to start. I mean, if we start with number one, this is website builders and enhancers. So imagine if, even if you don't know like basics of web development, you have some idea about how HTML works and all, but you don't have any knowledge about web development in general. You can still build a good looking website that is on Webflow. You can use Squarespace. Even on Notion, you can create web pages. There are so many sites these days, Linktree and Card and Webflow. Card is again an amazing website to build your own website. Then you have app builders also. There's Universe, there's Glide, there's Flutterflow, and Flutterflow is like amazing, guys. Flutterflow is like really simple to build and deploy your own web app, like a simple not web app but a mobile app. I can pause here right now and actually show you our current website of Hustle, which is built on a no-code tool, and this is built on Webflow. Can you see the landing page, everyone?
Yeah, we can see.
Yeah. So this particular site is built on Webflow, and trust me, we didn't code anything for it. It's just like drag and drop sort of thing. You can just add animations here, and you can also create like moving animations. You can see the pop-ups here, the screen are popping up, there's a marquee here, and all of this is done with a no-code tool, and it's better than any proper web app, I would say. So that is something that you can achieve using a no-code tool. And I mean, I totally recommend, it's not a waste. Learn a no-code tool out of each and every of these 12 categories, and pretty sure that you can build your own simple web app. Then there is like something called app builders and enhancers. These are like adding like more functionality to your website. So suppose you build something on Webflow, then you can add more functionality using these. Dispatch is again really good for sending out mails to people. Then there are internal tools to manage your own. Suppose you have got a huge set of photographs. Now you need something to manage your photographs and everything. You can use these internal tools to create a pipeline of those, like what post goes when and everything. Then there is workflow automation tool. Again, automation tools are really great for really helpful to automate your workflow when it comes to, like, if you want to link your database, suppose on Google Sheets, to your website. So you can use Zapier, something like Zapier, to really connect the data between these two. Then there are data and developer productivity. So now users are coming on a platform. You need to track, analyze them, analyze their journey and everything. So you can develop, you can generate data from these tools. Then there are spreadsheets. I'm pretty sure some of you must have heard of Airtable. It's again a unicorn. Then there are numbers, like numbers, finance, and modeling. It's very similar to your Google Sheets and Excel, except that these can be deployed on a website. And then there is payments and transactions. There is Solaris Bank, Mambu, and I mean, we can also, Indian startups are not named here. I mean, there is Razorpay also, and Cash Free in the Indian ecosystem. Then there is checkout, subscriptions, and commerce, again, similar to your what Razorpay does. Then low code analytics and dashboards. This is like the end result of how many people paid, how many people came on your website, and you can track everything that is happening out there. And then there is form builders. It's very similar to Google Forms. So using these 12 categories of tools, you can create your end-to-end website without having like any knowledge of coding. I wouldn't say any knowledge of coding, but even if you have a little knowledge of coding. This is one LinkedIn post I came across a few days ago, and I really liked it. Like, how simple is it to create your own startup? I mean, in 15 days, like, you can create a very basic version of your own startup. You just have to go and buy a domain on GoDaddy, get logo ideas for your business on Dribble. Then there is Figma, where you can create assets and create UI designs. Then there is like Wix.com, where you can create the website template design. Then you can post it on Webflow. Then you can connect your backend with using Zapier, like I mentioned, with Notion or Excel or Google Sheets or any of that. Then there is testimonial videos, like when user when it's a new startup, you need testimonial videos that, I visited your website and I really liked the website. So those are testimonial videos. Like, essentially, I even asked you guys for the feedback yesterday, and you guys gave it, and that's really helpful for me. So, every startup needs such testimonials and videos as well. Then there is Flutterflow to build out the mobile app. Then there is user guiding to help users onboard on your app. Then there is Stripe or Poll for payments. Then there is Product Hunt, where you can distribute your app from. Then there's newsletter plan on Substack, and yes, such that. So you can create your own entire startup. Like, if you have a basic idea, you just want to test out your ideas, you can follow these steps. And the interesting part is, like, all of them are like free. All of them are like free except for Stripe. For Stripe, you just have to share your revenue with Stripe, so you need to give them 2%. Apart from that, every tool mentioned here is free. GoDaddy, again, like 199 for domain, but yeah, that is like doable. You pay 199 for 1 year. So my question is, what stops you? I mean, whether you are a web developer or even if you are not a web developer, my strong recommendation to you is, like, if you are like all of you are students who are currently in technological institutes. I mean, it makes sense to just, pick up one technology, and it could be like a coding language like Python, C++, not C++, I would recommend JavaScript, Python, JavaScript. Just pick out one language, learn the basics of it, create a simple project. After that, try to use no code tools. Like there are plenty of no code tools, like I mentioned, plenty of no code tools here. Just pick out one. I would say pick out Webflow, learn bit of Flutterflow, learn what Dispatch does. From here, you can use Flowdash, learn about Zapier, and you can just pick out the best from all of these. Like Airtable, Chart.io is good, Jira V is good, and then Solaris Bank. Instead of, I would say for this, you can pick out Razorpay or Stripe. Yeah, and just pick out, make your own stack, and build your own startup. And I would say don't build your own startup when you are in college. I would recommend it this way, that think of an idea. You have plenty of time in college. Just given like 1 hour, 2 hour, write down your idea, think about it. Tomorrow the session is all about building your idea. So tomorrow's session would be like much more interactive, where we would be discussing. I'd be asking you about your ideas and how you can proceed about it. Even if you don't have an idea, then what are the first steps to building a business plan? How do you think? How do you imagine? How do you have customer conversations, and how do you market your idea? So we would be having a session on that as well. A guest speaker would be coming in. So that is like, again, what stops you? Nothing really stops you. I mean, there are plenty of tools out there in market. You just need to learn. And that is where this entire concept of cold shower comes in. You just have to dive into that cold shower and build out your own idea. So this was the session for today. Would be happy to take any questions that you would want to ask. All these are company, the truth has asked me. Yes, if you are referring to this slide, are you referring to this slide, the truth? I mean, would be happy to know your real name. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, all of these are companies, and very interestingly, some of them are like unicorns as well. Roshan. Okay. Okay. Hi, Roshan. Roshan Pandey, is it right? Yes. Okay. Yeah. So Webflow is one of the unicorns, and Notion is a unicorn. Flutterflow is almost a unicorn. Airtable is a unicorn. So yeah. If we use no-code tools, can we get the source code? Yes. So the thing is that many of the no-code tools, basically they have of course, they have a backend. There's a code running in there as well. It's only that, the developers in these companies, what they do is that they convert this code into like a GUI, like front-facing GUI. So you just have to enter, say, the values or something like that. Like it's easier for the user to enter stuff, and the result can be generated by the algorithm running in the backend. So there's a code, and you can also export the code. For instance, in Webflow, if you are like building out this website, you can also import the export the custom code, download it on your local machine, and edit the code, add JavaScript or add any other, maybe you want to add like ML app in there. So you can also do that. So yeah, you can export the tools, the code. Please put up the best package of no-code tools in the chat box. Well, Praveen, it totally depends on your requirements. I mean, if it's a mobile first thing that you are building, then probably you might not require a website builder or something like that. And like I would be happy to search for these, like again, you can go to stackshare.io, search for the companies that use no code tools, look at their stacks, and just take inspiration from there. But would be happy to do it for you. Can post it later on the resources section. No code tool means no need to write code. Yeah, I mean, you don't really need to write the code here. You can just like imagine this, that for instance, you are posting something on Facebook. So you just type and press enter, right? But there's a code written in the backend. And 20 years ago, when people didn't have these well-formed GUIs, GUI is a GUI. It is like graphical user interface. When people didn't have good user interface, they used to like code like this. You must have seen in movies like Matrix. So there's a code running behind. So in a no code tool, there is no need to write a code, but at the same time, you can export the code. There are developer docs for each no code tool, and you can use it however you want to, for both mobile app and website. Okay. Oh yeah, Praveen, I will just add it in the resources section. Is this the correct time for startup? As timing is very important. Well, Syed, like I said, like Vitalik Buterin, again, like he started like in his first year in college. Even Mark Zuckerberg started in perhaps I think third year. And there are so many people like the founder of Oyo, Ritesh Agarwal. He never went to college. I think he was enrolled, he got himself enrolled at DU, but he didn't even attend a single day. The idea is that if you have an idea and you believe strongly in it and you think you have the resources, I mean, there's no bad correct time or incorrect time. There is no good time for investment. The same goes with startup. Yeah. We have to share our idea in the form of user interface. The truth has direct messaged me. Yeah, I mean, you like basically imagine there's this Google form and you enter information to like take some action. It's the same thing. I mean, for instance, if you are setting up a payment gateway on Razorpay, you just specify the product that you are selling, the amount you want to charge the user, and what are the payment options you uh, like make available, whether they are going to pay by UPI or whether they are going to pay by card. So it's like as simple as that. Previously, when it was something like these older payment gateways that were run by Visa or Mastercard and even PayPal, people had to code them out. Like there were developer docs and people used to code them out. But now it's much more simpler to create a payment gateway. As a startup, how can we get the funds? I mean, there are several ways. Like there are angel investors, there are programs, there are accelerator programs. There's again like family, friends and family. I mean, people also bootstrap their startup, like proof like that. Like they give a proof of concept, they show traction to investors. And when I say investors, these are basically VC firms. They either approach you or you approach them. It works two ways. Our next session is interestingly being taken by Aditya Narayanan, who's currently on the call. He has worked in a VC firm and he would be the best person to talk about it. So guys, if there are no more questions, we can. Okay, what is the business model of Ashal? Interesting. Well, we can discuss this separately, maybe next time. Like we can get on a one-on-one call, and you can pay me some amount for that one-on-one call. Maybe that's when you will understand the business model. Just kidding, just kidding. Would be happy to talk about it maybe sometime next week separately. Yeah. Never do think you are the best at for free. Okay. I mean, yeah, I mean, nothing is done for free. Everything has a reason. Is AI a no-code tool? No, AI is not a no-code tool. AI is something like, what do you say? Like programming. Is programming a tool? I mean, it's an act, like it's a noun. Artificial intelligence is a noun. It defines uh, what ML is, DL is. It's an umbrella term for all of these. So AI is not a no-code tool. Can AI be no-code tool? Okay. I mean, again, there are like, if I would be happy to talk about like data and developer productivity section here. So it's all of these are all no-code tools which help you deploy like popular ML algorithms or AI algorithms, DL algorithms onto your website, onto your data essentially, and then generate some result. So yeah, AI, no-code tools leveraging AI are possible, and there are even the person that we invited yesterday, Rohan Kameshra, he is building something called datasip.ai IO, which is again a data management tool and leverages ML and AI to give insights to companies. Do you think startup bubble is created in India and it will burst badly as many startups are removing their employees? I think it's so so my 2 cents on this is that, you know, have you come across this hypothesis that everything in this world is like a sine curve? You know, even your biorhythms, even your the way nature functions, the way human behavior is defined, everything is like a sine curve, and that holds true for like funding also, or economics in general as well. So like back in 2008 we had a the way market goes. Yeah, exactly. So guys, I think we'll end this call for now. We'll take 15 minutes break, and we can, like, you can like hold your questions for the next session. I think Aditya would be able to answer way better than me because he has worked in this space a lot more. Uh, so we'll be taking it to the next session. Do join in at 7 p.m. Have already sent you the calendar invites. We'll also share the link on the WhatsApp group, as well as I think it's already shared in the announcements channel on Discord. So do join in for the next session. It's going to be great. Thank you for joining in. Bye-bye.